One of the reasons why I have taken to the airways in regards to my experiences is because I feel that there are a lot of people that have been in my position in regards to a lot of situations in my life. And they haven't given voice to their situations. They haven't given voice to the thoughts and things that are going through their head. There are a lot of people that are running around here thinking they're going crazy about a situation, and they don't even realize that there's a million other people that feel the same way. It's that sense of loneliness that they have because of their perspective on things, because of what they're going through. They think they're the only one, excuse me, they think they're the only one going through it. Well, I wanted to talk about one of the ways that you can determine whether or not you need to call it quits in a relationship. And this could be any relationship, friendship, family tie, whatever the case may be. Let's say that you're in the presence of this person. Every time you're in the presence of this person, you guys have a great time. Everything's wonderful. But see, the person that you care about, they're either involved in some dirty stuff, involved in some risky behaviors that might get them into trouble, and you can't, they're hard-headed about it. They're very hard-headed about it. They've come up with reasons in their mind for doing it. They've justified it to themselves. They lied to themselves about their negative situation. It's a train wreck waiting to happen. And you know this. But you know the type of person that you're dealing with. You can't say anything because if you do, you're either going to get brushed off, or depending on the time of day or the type of day that they're having, they might become angry with you, whatever it is. This, like I said, this can apply to any type of relationship. But when you're around this person, you guys have a great time. The love is flowing. Everything is wonderful. Everything's a good old party. And you're feeling great. So when you're feeling great during that time, you start to develop hope and think, you know what, that situation is not as bad as I think it is. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating. Because, see, you're feeling that sense of euphoria. You're in the zone. You're all hyped up and you're happy about what's going on. So because you're happy about something, sometimes you don't, the negative doesn't even come into play. It's like you're so caught up in the feeling of being happy that you're kind of just ignoring what's really going on. So you get around this person and everything's great and wonderful when you're together, and it reinforces your love and your care for them. But the minute you leave, now see, this is the sign right here. The minute you leave, or the minute you get back home, or the minute you get out of sight, or whatever it is, it's not long before you start thinking about that negative situation they're involved in. The negative behaviors they exhibited, the problems that they have, the minute you get out of their presence. See, that little mini spell is worn off because you're not in proximity anymore. And there are some people that'll purposefully do that, make people feel good and everything else so that nobody will think about the fact that they're in a messed up situation, or they have a messed up attitude, or they have physical or emotional problems that are unaddressed. You know for a fact that the way that this person is living is headed for disaster. You know this. And you probably overextended yourself over time to try to help them, only to wind up right back at square one. So now you're at a point where you've exhausted all your resources and everything to try to help this person. So the only thing that you could do is just throw your hands up and leave it to God. And I totally get that. Because we as humans can only do so much. As I stated before, you can't get inside somebody's head and make them think the way you want to think. So you've done the right thing, being a concerned party. But the way that you can tell that you need to either scale back your contact with this person or eliminate contact with them altogether is that the minute that you get back to your home and get back to your area, all those negative situations come back. Let me give you an example to kind of help you understand. Let's say you've had a boyfriend, okay? You and your boyfriend been together for a little while, and but your boyfriend, let's say your boyfriend is a habitual offender. Can't seem to stay out of jail for nothing. He's a family man. When he's out, he's all about the family. He's running the streets, doing this for this person, doing this for that person, doing this for that person. But he's not making an honest living. That's what keeps him in and out of jail all the time, because he refuses to make an honest living. If he does try to get a job somewhere or something, his attitude is just so off the chain that, he can't keep a job, or he doesn't want to go to work. He'll talk about how he doesn't like boundaries. He don't like nobody telling him what to do. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a street hustler. Blah, blah, blah. You guys have heard it. You already know in your mind that this person is getting older and that the game is constantly changing out there in the streets. But they got it in their mind that they're the master of the whole thing. But you see that it's headed for disaster. And you're afraid that they're going to wind up getting locked up again. And this time, they're going to throw away the key. You're afraid of it. But this person has, he's a people person, loves everybody. Everybody loves him when he's out. He's there for everybody, doing everything he can, And if he does work a job, he's doing overtime, stand up and everything else. It's just that he won't leave them streets alone. Okay? When you get around him, everything is great. He could be throwing parties and cookouts. Everything's a good time from the minute you come in the door, when you go out to lunch and have a good time. Every time that you're in his vicinity, the sex is great and wonderful. Every time you around, when you come in his presence, everything is great. Everything is great and popping from the moment he comes in till the time he leaves. Everything is great. I mean, perfect restaurant, perfect movie, perfect dates, perfect in the bedroom. Makes you feel wonderful, make you feel great. As a man or a woman, you feel great. You feel like you're just the most important thing in their life and everything else. Because, and you don't even think about the fact that this person might be locked up today or tomorrow. Got you swept up and feeling, absolutely wonderful. And as I stated before, some of these people do it on purpose, just to keep you around. But it may not be his intent. That just may be the way he rolls, because that's just the way he figured he could get by. But he won't leave them streets alone. The same thing that keeps him in and out of jail, he just refuses to get rid of. And if you bring it up in conversation, then all of a sudden you see a totally different person. Mr. Charming ain't so charming anymore. You see the raw and the ugly. Or if they're real slick about it, they don't become ugly at all. They'll sit there and very calmly tell you, well, I'm not going to give that up. That's just the way I am and everything. But I know what I'm doing. Trust me. You can see it plain as day that it's headed for disaster, especially if they're over 40 years old. If they've been doing this on their young lives and been in and out, and if they're over 40, 45, 50 years old and they're still doing it, for a fact, there ain't no hope in that. Not if they're willing to make any changes. But you don't think about that when you're with them, because they make you feel so wonderful. And 9 times out of 10, they probably have somebody else out there that make them feel wonderful. You might be the only one, but it doesn't matter either way. There is no emotional stability in that situation, because of their mindset. It's going to be a matter of time before they're gone again. And they make it a point to make you feel wonderful and great during that time, because in the back of their mind, they already know, being in the streets, they already know. They don't know if they're going to make it home, at the end of the day, because they're dealing with people out there, and they don't know anything about these people. It's all about fast cash and hustling, a whole bunch of strangers. You don't know where they come from. You don't know what they're about. The sting operations out there. These people, you hear people say all the time how they know that person, they don't know nothing. Look, if everybody knew what an undercover officer looks like, we wouldn't have an overcrowding of prisons. So if you have somebody tell you, oh yeah, well I know what they look like because they drive this type of car and they look a certain type of way. If they know so doggone much, explain to me why there's an overcrowding of prisons. The next time somebody says that, by the way. So you feel wonderful, you feel great, and you're in love all over again. All over again. You're on cloud 9. Now this is how you know what you need to leave the situation alone. You go your separate ways. You go home. Some of them, sometimes as soon as you hit the road, as soon as you stick your key in the door, all of a sudden, these negative thoughts come into your mind, all these scenarios about all the things that this person is involved in that cause nothing but trouble. You think about all of the consequences that you know. You think about what that person has been through, and you think about how hard-headed they've been the whole time. All those negative feelings come back, and all that good time and everything that you felt before has totally disappeared. That's when you know you need to either scale things back or cut them off. When you are out of the presence of someone you care about, and during the time that you're away from them, every time you think about them is something negative, it's time to scale things back or cut things off. Because if there's a true connection there, that good feeling that you have with that person is going to linger. It's like a perfume. You know, you spray it in the air and it's a little strong at first, but it lingers for a while. That's how that good feeling is when you are with that person. If things are cool in your relationship and they're progressing nicely, when you get together with them, you have that sense of euphoria. Yes, you feel great. But in your time apart, when you think about them and their place in your life, you feel happy. You think positive thoughts. You look forward to seeing them again. You're not worried and anxious. Now, if things are good and you are worried and anxious, that might be another issue you're dealing with. You might have an anxiety issue where you just automatically worry, and you know you need to go ahead and see somebody for that. But I'm talking about a regular situation here. So that's one of the ways, people, that you can figure out whether or not this situation is for you. If you're away from the person that you're with, it doesn't matter what happened when you're together. When you're apart, how do you feel? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel like there's a future? Do you look forward to seeing them again? Are you confident in knowing that you're going to see them again? See, those are the things that you got to think about. Because if you're constantly worrying about a situation that is controllable, but the person involved refuses to do anything about it, you either need to scale it back or move on. I kind of hope this helps someone. Like I said, I kind of talk about things that I go through. This is something that I had to learn. And it's a bitter pill to swallow. But hey, life is full of bitter pills, but it's good medicine once you get it down. So anyway, I'm going to leave you guys to it. And peace to all of you.